Sunday, November 7th, 2021. And the House has approved the 1.8, $1.9 trillion infrastructure bill without votes from the squad. I don't understand this. I'm a fan of AOC. I do not find her radical. I don't think she's overly progressive. I think a lot of the things that she talks about and the things that she supports are, nuts and bolts things that help Americans. That I think that a lot of people actually agree with. She's just been made to be the villain, so it doesn't matter what she says or what she supports or what she does. It's AOC, so it's got to be wackadoodle. But here's what I don't get. She and Presley and Omar, they've been writing this whole sort of, I guess it's a campaign, but this ideology that they are there to bring, to make government work for the people again. Exposing the ridiculousness of how much time is spent fundraising and how much time is spent, dickering back and forth about you vote for this and I'll vote for that, and all the game playing and talking about how, the representatives need to be there to do the work of the people that put them in those positions. And so, here's a bill that's giving I'm sorry, I said it's not 1.9, it's only 1 trillion. Forgive me. But it's, one of the biggest investments in roads and bridges and highways since the highway system began. Getting broadband, high-speed internet to rural underserviced areas. Investment in electric cars, in rail transport, the power infrastructure. This is like literally infrastructure things that need to get done, and it's a monumental bill, historic in many, many ways. And you jackasses are on record voting no. You tried to play this game to say, we're not going to vote for this unless we're also going to get the Build Back Better bill. And that kind of, politicking is exactly the kind of bullshit that we don't want. And so you played the game, they called your bluff, got enough votes from reasonable Republicans, none of whom are probably going to run for re-election anyway. I know Kinzinger was on that list. And when it came down to it, you're on record voting against this infrastructure bill, not abstaining, voting no. Like, that's just, I cannot wrap my head around how that makes you feel good. Like, so that's really frustrating, that, they held out right to the end to actually vote no on something that actually will help millions of people. But now Biden thinks that he can get the Build Back Better plan. This is the scaled down $1.9 billion Build Back Better plan that used to be 3 trillion, I think. And now it's 1.9 trillion. Did I say billion? Trillion. It's a lot of cash. He thinks that they'll pass that in a couple weeks in the Senate. So here's the other thing I don't understand. This bill passes, the infrastructure bill passes, and it doesn't have a clear way to pay for itself. The Build Back Better plan has a clear way to pay for itself. yet it's the one that's harder to pass. And what's going to happen when it passes, I'm just going to be hopeful and use positive terminology, is that the media is going to talk about all the things that it doesn't include. They left out free community college. They took out some advantages for senior citizens. Some of the things that got taken out of the 3 trillion and from the 3 trillion when it reduced down to the 1.9 trillion. And that's what they'll focus on instead of actual monumental and again, historic piece of legislation that's going to do wonders of good. And the fact that the Democrats have actually accomplished something that's going to help Americans in the 1-2 punch of the infrastructure and Build Back Better plans. That the story will not be what a great benefit this is going to be to the American people, and how much the Republicans stymied this and don't want you to have these things. That's not going to be the messaging. It's going to be what the Democrats didn't get done. And it's going to be infuriating because that's going to play in the midterms. That's what's going to be all over. And it's not just Fox. That's going to be on The View and all the talk shows, and the Times and the Washington Post is not going to be praise for, even if it's $1 trillion less, that's nearly $2 trillion of investment into the country that's actually going to help everyday Americans, and we're going to get zero credit for it. And this critical race theory fucking thing is going to blow the midterms because people are so dumb that they'll get blinded by whatever little, racist dog whistle is thrown their way and forget what the Democrats have accomplished. The messaging should be, if you want more of things like this, if you want more assistance, if you want the rest of that plan that's left out, vote for more Democrats. That should be the plan. Vote for more Democrats so we can do more of this. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't mean to be, negative Nelly when, we just got a big win. I think we should be celebrating that. Woohoo! And most of the story is, the squad not voting for it instead of all the things that it's going to do. So we have a media problem, just in general, and the Democrats have zero capability of tooting their own horn and getting the right messaging out there. So I said it before, we should just put in a bill that says, critical race theory can't be taught K through 12, and just take that off the plate. I also saw that Pat Toomey is introducing legislation to remain at daylight saving time. And you know what? That one should be a slam dunk. Let's get some bipartisan support on that. Let's keep the sunlight as late as possible. We like our evenings sunny.